What's going on, guys? Today is October 23rd. New York session is coming to an end, and let's break down some trades. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Josh Paveo. I've been trading live with Day Trading University for over just up about 5 years now, and mainly NAS gold. I trade a lot of fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, let's break down gold. Now, I've been saying this, if you watch any of my other videos, I really been staying away from gold ever since the government's been shut down and we haven't been getting data. Really, reason being is the fake outs have just been crazy. This is another perfect example of call it a fake out. There were actually traders in sells while I was on the live call that I was saying you have to be careful for. But once we got the fake out and the closure back above, after the commodity exchange opened, which this is after the commodity exchange, this was the entry here on gold. There isn't much more else to break down other than that. Like I've been being really cautious with gold. We had a really aggressive drop from all-time highs. We've dropped 2,500 pips. I talked about that in a couple of the videos, and I'm still looking for buys even after that drop. Price action on gold, I think, is getting a little better. The ranges are still really big. One thing I do like about gold now is, we'll come to the 30-minute time frame. After we finally got, let's do it like this. After we finally got that really aggressive drop here from all-time highs, price action started to change a little bit. And what I mean is, if you take a look over at gold here, really, really aggressive drops, but really slow, sluggish push to the upside. Almost every time. Almost every time. You see it again here. You see the really aggressive drop. Even though I'm bullish on gold, meaning like I'm still looking for buys, usually when I'm bullish on gold, we get kind of a short, choppy pullback, sometimes aggressive. Gold can be gold. And the impulsive move is the buys. Just like what I'll show you on NAS, the impulsive move goes with the bias. It's not normal that we get this really slow, kind of shitty, sluggish price action to the upside. So I am noticing over the past 2 days that the entries do look better on gold, and we are getting more bullish, clean bullish price action. This being a good example right here. Yesterday we had it too. So hopefully that continues. One of the things you have to just be concerned with, or at least be aware of, is these candles on gold are massive, way bigger than what they've been in the past. This one candle right here is almost 200 pips. This entire range is 200 pips. If you were to go back and look at gold, we come back to September, before the government shut down, and you measure any of these ranges, right, you're going to get way, way, way smaller moves here. These candles right here, 20, 30 pips. This entire move, which looks massive, is 400 pips. This is a massive move compared to everything else you can see here, but when you go compare it to this range, it's the same size, and it doesn't even look that big compared to all these candles. I say all that to say, if you are still trading gold, hopefully you're lowering your position sizes, because your risk is 2 or 3x'd with the amount of volatility that we've been seeing. So it's really all I got to say about gold. I'll start trading it again when data starts coming out, which we do have inflation data coming out tomorrow, but gold and inflation can be tricky. Maybe I'll do a little breakdown and analysis on that tomorrow. NAS. We had a couple different entries on NAS. I'll break this down one by one by putting this little green box here, little risk reward tool. Now, the first entry was right here, and this was the riskiest, but the best. Well, actually, I think this one was the best. But the reason I didn't take either of these trades, I think there were two good entries here. There's this one right here, and then there was this one right here. Both of these trades, both of these entry opportunities, if you'd call them that, they both happened right before the stock exchange opened. And for me, it just goes against one of my rules. I don't like taking trades on NASDAQ until after the stock exchange opened. But I will take trades on NAS if I have reasons for it, meaning if the volume is driven by headlines, news, or data, I'll take the trade. But here's the thing. This trade right here, I really liked it. It played out nice. We saw some volume here. We never broke support. I was like, I don't want to take sells on NAS anyways, even though we still have this kind of bearish price action here. I'm looking for buys. So this was the first candle that I wanted to take buys on. I left it alone. But then after seeing this one candle recovered all of this price action and then still held support, I'm not the biggest fan of that. So when you're watching, it's easy to see now that it's already happened that it was a good entry. But really, when you're doing this in real time, which I was trading this live with everybody in Day Trading University, all we did was create this massive range now, which now I'm like, okay, the stock exchange opened up here. I was hoping to see a pullback again, then I'd be more comfortable taking buys because I have reasons and I have volume and all that fun stuff. But after seeing an aggressive drop like this, and even though it still had support, I'm just really hesitant to get in on that one, even though now you can see that it looks good. Another really good entry was right here, right at the stock exchange open. Now, this one, I don't like saying I called the buys, but like I saw the entry. I told everyone on the live call, like this really looks good on NAS. My biggest problem, and I actually didn't take this, was the markets were really mixed. I like watching tech stocks. These are the top 8 for NASDAQ, and NVIDIA specifically was dropping. It's funny because it doesn't look like it's dropping now because it ended up closing bullish, but it was melting. The markets were super mixed when NAS was breaking out, and we already got this here, and we were at the highs. So I was a little hesitant to enter, and then right before this candle closed, it just took off. And at this point, by the time we're up here, at least as far as I'm concerned, I missed the trade. I missed the entry. I was hoping for a pullback. The markets were really mixed, so I was like, man, I hope we get a pullback again. And then I end up taking the buys down here to take it up. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. There were a lot of traders who did take the buys, which, I mean, I'll go over into the win section and you can see, we'll see over here. NAS, Darren passed another funded challenge today, so solid work. Here's the breakout on NAS right here. One of those trades, this is a breakout Ryan took on gold that I just showed you before. And then this was the other day on NAS. So a couple entries here. A lot of these people trading funded challenges too, or just passing them. So this was the second entry on NAS. It was just a breakout trade. I missed it. I didn't take it. I wish I did. I wish I entered over here. It would have been really nice. It would have been maybe probably a $50,000 day. I'm trading multiple funded accounts combined. So that would have been nice. But the entries that I did take, other than those, 2 of those just broke my rules and the other one was mixed. So realistically, all 3 of those entries, this entry here, and the breakout here, all of them went against one of my rules. And if you have rules, you will miss trades. It's just the nature of the beast. What the big thing is not changing what you do because you missed a trade. I'm not going to start chasing it up here when I missed the entry and I saw it here and I saw it twice down here. I missed the trade. I'm going to wait for another opportunity. I'm going to wait for a pullback. I'm going to wait for another entry, which is exactly what I did. But one of the biggest mistakes I see people do is like, you don't feel confident taking the entry when you see it, and then you start chasing it. And then what happens is, now it didn't happen here, but I'm getting stuck in a pullback. You end up closing the trade in drawdown, even though it probably could still go in your direction. You just entered too late. So I try to avoid that. The second entry the first entry rather that I took, which I really wasn't planning on taking, was these sells right here on NAS. We ended up getting a little bit of a pullback here, and then this drop. I closed right at this resistance. Now, I have a screenshot of this one here. I think I sent it in the analysis channel and day trade, yeah, right here. So the entry was actually a little lower. It was here, and I closed at this support, literally just for a scalp. But we'll see inside Day Trading University, the reason I took it, I'll zoom in on this. The reason I took it right here was because we had headlines from Jeffries about the government shutdown, and NAS immediately dropped. So we were getting headlines coming out, which I'll show you in the news feed around 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's make this a little bigger. 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I'm not editing this, so you got to bear with me if there's a pause when I'm trying to find a headline for you. This is a zero edit YouTube channel. I'm just trying to go over this, break down some trades, hopefully help some of you guys out, or just kind of journal my own shit publicly, I guess. So these are the headlines right here, 10 o'clock. We had the House Minority Leader talking, we had a Fed speaker talking, and there was just a little bit of negativity towards the government shutdown, and then we had some headlines about Russia later too. But I wasn't looking to take this long term. I just saw the reaction from the markets, and that's why I entered. And I'm pretty sure I closed. I even said it in the analysis channel. I was like, I closed this already. I'm not looking to hold this. So that was that trade. And then the last one that I ended up taking, even though still holding, well, I'm not actually not holding this anymore. I took this one right here. So my stop loss was somewhere around here, and I ended up closing the trade here. It looks weird when I look at it here because we got this really aggressive drop. Putin ended up making some comments. We got that drop. And then this was a really good entry. But this trade does look weird when you look at it there because of the price action. But when you see it here, it doesn't look as bad, right? The entry was here. We were hitting support. We had a lot of volume. So I had a good risk to reward. And then I ended up taking profit here. So I think I have the profit here too. You have $1,400 on profit on that. So those are the trades. We can see we got another breakout here. This was after 1 o'clock Eastern time. The White House is having a press briefing and Trump is also having a meeting later today. So depending on when you're watching this, the markets might look completely different. It all depends on what Trump says. He's supposed to be talking about the drug cartel, but we'll see. Overall, really, really nice day on NAS. This is one of those days where it looks really clean after the fact, but taking this in real time, unless if you just like to chase trades, which I don't do, taking this in real time was a little tough just because the markets were mixed as we were pushing up. So really good entries. This is just, yeah, hopefully you guys profited today. Hopefully you guys had some good price action, and I'll see you guys in the next breakdown.